Keep going. And let's focus for a little bit. Okay. Okay, so my waist is just off the charts, like it's not gonna work, right? So imagine she's not even at my waist size. But if she were a real human, this is the size she'd have to be that you can kind of get closer to a normal human being's waist. Is this still a compliment to be called Barbie? Unless your name is Barbie? Would that still be a compliment if someone said, wow, you look like Barbie. You look like a monstrous freak. So what's the problem? What's the problem, bless you, with young girls being told that Barbie is pretty? What can we take from this?
They have like standards of beauty that are like they aren't real. And they're not professional.
It's impossible. Unless I'm like overly anorexic, still, I don't think that wouldn't work out. So, what are some negative implications from growing up with a doll that's unrealistic and being told from a small age, from a very young age, that this is what beauty looks like? I'd like you to go ahead and take about 3 minutes and discuss some of these things with the person next to you. With your group. Go ahead.
When you're little, you're not actually, when you're little, my big, like in size, like fat, and it's just like TV shows, those were great, Victoria's. There's like big and then when you're little,
They give messages to girls about how they should be feel that way.
so when you're older, you're actually no, but I mean like body person. When you're little, you don't have like as much.
They don't want to make I just dress them. I used to think that they were really like perfect.
Yeah,
Like
they're like a mold, perfect.
I always thought, like, when I grow up, I want exactly like
All right, guys, I hope you had an opportunity to just kind of share some of your thoughts with people around you. I heard some really interesting discussions over here in this corner. I'd like to just hear, just go ahead and share out some of the things that you thought about and maybe some thoughts that this image provoked. So if you would just share out with the group. Carlota.
Okay, my group, we discussed that we weren't really like told that they were pretty, but it was our impression like we wanted to be like Barbie. So it was like never something told, but when you got older, you actually realized like it was not. It wasn't like the proportions aren't right.
So even if people aren't telling us what is beauty verbally, we get these messages from a very, very young age that this is what is beautiful. Nicole?
Like also when you're little, you don't have as much body as them, and then you see all adults and stuff, and then you're like very skinny. Because when you're little, like very few people are like skinny. Like now, as we grow, we're skinnier, so it's just kind of like you envy them.
Okay, envy, Samantha?
Well, okay, so when I was little, my family would always be like, oh, you're like a Barbie because I'm blonde and I have blue eyes and everything. So they would always like, and also, but she was saying that people do tell you, like, when someone, like your aunt or your grandma or someone brings you a Barbie, it's like, oh, look how pretty. It's like always like supposed to be pretty, and I always took that like as a compliment.
Okay, thank you.
Sometimes you like grow up thinking that things like when you're small, you don't really have that much like. You watch Barbie, like I'm pretty sure there's no one with curvy women on Barbie, and like, this is the only access that you have to like actual like curves and stuff. So you grow up thinking that it's like what the image of beauty is.
Thank you. Barbie?
Also, like when playing Barbie, I was kind of like the best cars and like the best boys and the best clothes. Like
like that like if I was like her I was gonna have that when I grew up. So it's like yeah.
Very interesting, thank you. Fellas, what thoughts does this provoke for you?
Yes, it feels pretty weird because if you saw a woman like that way, like it would be weird.
Yeah, like if you saw like the girl, yeah, it's pretty and all, like it's like a real human.
Thank you. Yeah, Nicole.
Then we can also see that nothing is perfect because before maybe we thought it was perfect, but then when you start looking and measuring at stuff, like different stuff, you realize that nothing is perfect. So then there's no ideal model.
Okay. So having this idea, and Nicole, you said earlier, you said that the perfect woman has certain dimensions. I heard you mentioning it, and you just said, no, that was in the olden days. And maybe, perhaps in the olden days, because in the olden days, they wore a lot of corsets, which made their waist much smaller than what is natural. They smashed all their insides together. And so, yeah, it's perhaps that was a kind of the ideal for the olden days. But to have this image of what is correct, that goes back to our discussion when we watched the movie on the golden ratio. Can beauty be measured? Is it mathematical? Is a certain dimension what makes someone beautiful and will lead to getting the car and the boys and all of those things? Or is it something that we've been raised with in our culture, in our society, has made us think that there is a special formula for beauty in this world? Did you have any comments? No? Did you? Okay, I'm gonna now ask Samantha, since I think you might be our most petite individual in this room, could you come on up, and I want you, since my waist couldn't get anywhere close to that, come on up, and I'd like you to stand close to Barbie, and we might get a little closer here, if you don't mind. You okay with it? Okay. So if you would stand next to Barbie, and, okay, move your arms because, okay, there we go, better, and maybe stand on the other side, yeah. Okay, I would say, okay, their waists are about the same size. Maybe Samantha's just a tad bit larger, but take a look. So if you're gonna have that size waist, it's gonna be a lot more beautiful if you are the size of Samantha, not some giant creep like Barbie. Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much. Let's clap it up for our model here. Okay, so besides just a bunch of girls growing up thinking they're inadequate because they don't look like that, what else? What other issues does this lead to? Yeah.
Eating disorders.
Eating disorders. Eating disorders. Right? Big time. Yeah.
And also, it kind of like make us have plastic surgery because most people have wanted to have those measurements, and that kind of body. There's actually a woman who actually did those procedures to make her waist much smaller and her legs. I think I'm not sure but she did a really wonderful procedure to
I've seen the video on it, and actually, could you find it and post it on our Facebook page? That'd be really interesting for us to
I
watch.
think she had to remove like organs, so her waist could be that small.
Ugh. Tati?
There's also like this like typical picture in like Tumblr that like of like a woman, like a normal woman, and it's like lines to like cut out like where it should be like cut out, and it's like such a big difference.
All right, so with these thoughts, I'd like you to go ahead and turn to the last page. Go ahead and flip the page to the very, very back, very back side. All the way, all the way. You can go all the way, all the way. All right. There I've provided for you just some facts that I found online. So obviously not every online source is very, very, credible, but just for you to kind of get an idea. And so let's go around and let's just read some of these together. First of all, can you go ahead and read the real woman versus Barbie as a human within your group? Okay, just go ahead and read it within your group, and then we'll read the other statements out loud together. So just a minute to read the real woman versus Barbie in your group.
Look at that women dress
Yeah, I would say
it's like way
it's like basketball players, like super, like NBA, so super tall. Okay, like probably taller than this. She'd be like big as that. Okay, 140. 140 pounds is like 15 pounds more than I. So that's like a normal woman. 101 pounds.
Look at the dress
Probably
Barbie
skinny.
it's dress.
But she would be that tall.
Whoa.
Guys, this is amazing when you're talking to boys. He's like, what's a size 4 dress? So help the boys in your group understand these measurements.
Miss, what's an FF cup?
Okay, do you know the cup sizes?
Yeah, but it's like FF.
When it's like, you know, like a double D is?
Yeah.
Okay, so double just is like that much bigger. It's huge. It's like giant, like a watermelon, and then FF, like even bigger.
Oh, it's like two. D? You're D.
If she was a human size.
Understanding anything serious.
Okay.
Good education.
Yep. Okay.
No. This is E. This is F.
Okay, so they're all.
This is
I mean, it's based on the website that I got it on, but
This is
like,
F.
You would build her up, like for example, they're saying this if it was proportional.
E was D.
Right, blowing it up. We blew it up to a normal size woman. They're blowing it up to like that.
It's this, and then this is F. That's not right.
Not double. It's like double D. D double D. Not D.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, were there, was anyone shocked by the statement that says her waist would be the same size as her head? Matches. Okay. So, and again, it depends on the version of Barbie you have. There was a big kind of an uproar about how they made Barbie and what they were portraying to young women. So most of you have the adjusted Barbie. You have the improved Barbie, and still she's pretty ridiculous, and that's pretty sad. Guys, let's go ahead and read some of those other facts at the bottom. So let's just maybe go. Do I have a few volunteers? Okay, we'll start with Tati. We'll go around. If you would read one statement, and then the next person. If you don't want to go, just say pass, and the next person. Go ahead.
Barbie's body would have room for only half of a liver and only a few inches of intestine, as opposed to the usual 26 feet. The result, chronic diarrhea and death from malabsorption and malnutrition.
Barbie's neck is twice as long as average humans, which would make it impossible to hold her head.
Barbie's waist is of same circumference as her head.
Barbie's legs are 50% longer than her arms, whereas the average woman's legs are only 20% longer than her.
To look like a Barbie proportionally, a healthy woman would need to add 61 centimeters to her height, subtract 15 centimeters from her waist, and add 15 centimeters to her chest and 8 to her neck.
If a woman had the same measurements as Barbie, she would not have enough body fat to
Menstruate, that means have her period.
and obviously to have children.
There are 3 billion women on the planet who don't look like Barbie. Only 8 women come close.
Barbie would be unable to walk upright. She would need to walk on all 4 legs. Her feet are so proportionally small that her chest would pull her perpetually forward onto her toes.
Okay. Now go ahead and turn to step 4. Go ahead and turn to the page right before. Yes. I'm sorry?
That's crazy.
What about it?
Are you recording for like browsing or?
All right, guys. Step 4. Perform a critical analysis of the comparisons between your measurements / the measurements of your group and the measurements that Barbie would have if she were human. Please take into consideration the following information. How do your measurements compare to Barbie's? How do Barbie's measurements compare an average woman to an average woman's, and using the information below and throughout? What effect does Barbie looking the way she does have on us as women, those of you who are women, or for those of you who are men, what effect is that going to have on the women you know in your life, your sisters, your future wives, your daughters? Think about how are your daughters going to be influenced by the toys that they're playing with, and what's your role as a father in that? How does this affect the children that play with Barbie dolls, and what does it say about what society values? So you've taken some measurements, you have some of your own data based on the lab. I provided for you some internet data, and then in addition to that, some of you have seen videos or random other pictures. Please don't destroy not that they're in perfect condition, but they're not mine, they're of another teacher, so please do not draw on them. So using all this information, I'd like you to perform a critical analysis, and this is something you're going to be doing now. You're going to think about how does this affect our society? What are the implications, okay? And I want you to dig a little deeper. Try to go beyond what we discussed here in class. Try to bring in some of your own personal opinion. And finally, as always, we don't want to just identify the problem, but try to think about how can you impact or affect this problem, maybe not globally, but at least in your own life, for yourself and your own view of body image, and also for all those you come in contact with, your friends, your future children, your spouses, and so on. Okay? So take a moment to reflect on everything, and you can go ahead and write here on this paper here. We still have a good 15 minutes, so you guys should actually be able to finish your write-up now and get that turned in. If you don't finish up your write-up, or if you'd like to type it up or go home and look up some more statistics, you're welcome to. But do know that if you don't turn it in today, you do need to turn it in next class. Okay? If you feel like you want to go home and reflect on it more, and you'd rather work on the book assignment now, you're also welcome to do that. So if you prefer to work on the book assignment and do the analysis later, that's fine. But either way, I'm going to ask Carlota that this time be a silent work time, meaning I don't want you talking to anyone so people can concentrate if they're not. Okay? So you have the 15 minutes to use however you see most productive, but no talking, please. And if you could like drop at the desk so you're kind of
Nothing that I feel, I was looking for an answer. Yeah, but I don't want to walk over.
All right, guys, let me rephrase one more time. Right now, these 15 minutes, is it time to discuss? Talking to you. Is it time to discuss? No. Please don't look at the desk. You're working individually right now. Please listen to instructions and follow them. Come on. There should be no talking.
wasting your time, unless it's an emergency. It doesn't look like an emergency, go do your work.
Those of you who are interested, 1 centimeter is equal to 0.39 inches.
And there is 12 inches.
In a foot.
Excuse me.
Sorry guys, I found this video on the real life Barbie in case you're interested in watching it.
Questionable. In fact, everyone's kind of scratching their heads. The model morphed herself into a real-life Barbie. She first made headlines back in April for her doll-like image, and many people are wondering if her transformation was the result of plastic surgery and photoshopping. This morning, a brand new photo shoot and an interview is answering those questions. ABC's Paula Ferris has the story.
Her gorgeous legs and flawless figure have made Barbie the blue-eyed blonde every little girl wants to own. But Ukrainian Valeria Lukyanova says she wasn't content to play with the popular doll. She wanted to look like her. So this 21-year-old buxom blonde has transformed herself and in the process created a controversy.
She is passionate about looking like a doll, and she's getting plenty of coverage for it. What message is that sending to young girls?
This morning, Lukyanova is firing back, posing for these photos in the new issue of V Magazine's Power Girl issue. Just look, from the itty-bitty waist to those doe-like eyes, she looks every bit like Barbie. But in the magazine article out November 15th, Lukyanova denies having extensive cosmetic surgery, saying there are plenty of video clips on the internet showing what I really look like. Some people even spread rumors about me and retouch my pictures to hurt me. Lukyanova's spokesman tells ABC News she has had a breast enhancement, but otherwise, Lukyanova says she achieves her look through makeup. This YouTube video shows her giving a 10-minute tutorial on how she does it. As for that Barbie figure, Lukyanova's spokesman says she, quote, lives on an almost all-liquid diet and credits mountain climbing to help her keep her physique. Still, critics are crying foul.
If her goal is to get attention, it's working.
For her part, Lukyanova tells V Magazine she takes the criticism in stride. I don't take them too seriously, she says. I'm even flattered. It's what success is like. I'm happy I seem unreal to them. It means I'm doing a good job. For Good Morning America, Paula Ferris, ABC News, New York.
Is that attractive, though?
Sometimes there are no words.
It's a little creepy.
I think liquid diet is not good.
No, and to look like a wax figure is not either.
No, to aspire to that is just disappointing.
Yeah, agreed. We can leave it at that.
Los ojos. What about
Yeah, but she looked like a Barbie. I thought it was like Barbie.
No, pues sí, un poco más necesitas. Pero ve, así lo aguanta y la da.
Yo no hice nothing, you did something.